Good morning, guys. In the last class, we have started the discussion of objective questions. In that, we have discussed up to the question number 37 in our meeting. We will see the next question. Right? This was the last question that we have discussed in the last class. We will move to the next question in the continuation. Here, the next question comes, that is first transitional series presenting. First transitional series is presenting. Try to understand this term, first transitional series. What is meant by transitional series? We know that transition elements. What is meant by transition elements? The elements of the D block in which d orbital is incompletely filled are called as transition elements, or other we can also call them as D block elements. And these D block elements are further classified into various series such as first transition series, second transition series, third transition series, fourth transition. Here, what is the first transition series? First transition series, or we call it as 3D series. What we call it as 3D series. That is from scandium 21 to zinc 30 is called as first transition series. Even in the question, he is asking to which period this first transition series belongs. Now, if you see the general valence electronic configuration of scandium or zinc, let me write the zinc 4s2 3d10. Right? So, what is the outermost shell in the electronic configuration? If you want to write the complete electronic configuration, this will be R1 4s2 3d10 or 3d10 4s2 And what is the maximum nth value here? 4th value. 4 is the outermost shell. So, which period should belong? It belongs to the 4th period. Right? In the electronic configuration, the maximum principal quantum number value will be equal to its period number. And second transition series belongs to the 5th, and third transition belongs to the 6th, and fourth transition series will belong to the 7th periods. Here comes our next question. In iron, atomic number 26. In iron atom with atomic number 26, the differentiating electron enters into dash section. First of all, try to understand what is meant by differentiating electron. What is a differentiating electron? The electron which differentiates an element from its previous element is called as differentiating electron. In the periodic table, right, the two consecutive elements will vary with the difference of one electron. That one electron which is differentiating one element from its previous element is called as differentiating electron. Right? In the iron atom, iron is F, atomic number is 26. What is the valence electronic configuration? It will be, if you write R1 3d6 4s 2s. Right? As per the n plus L values, 4s fills first and the last electron goes into the d orbital. That means here goes into the 3d. Which orbital it goes? In which subshell it goes? 3d subshell. The answer will be 3d. Right? Which of the following represents the electronic configuration of D block elements? Simple direct question is asking the general valence electronic configuration of D block elements. First of all, try to understand what is meant by D block elements. Elements in which electrons enters into D subshell of penultimate shell. D subshell of penultimate shell will be called as D block elements. Its valence electronic configuration will be n-1 D1 to 10, NS1 to 2. This is the general valency electronic configuration of D block elements. It's a direct question. Right? Here comes the next question. The general electronic configuration n-1 D3 NS2 indicate the particular element belonging to. This was a question which is asked in 1996 in medical entrance examination. So let us see what is this. Here with this general electronic configuration, what we need to understand is that here valency electrons are present in d orbital. That means this particular element belongs to the D block element. It belongs to the D block. Right? If comes to the D block, how to identify the group number in D block? In order to identify the group number in D block, group number should be find out 2 plus number of electrons in D orbital or D subshell equals in D subshell. D subshell. How many electrons are there in the D subshell? 3 electrons are there. That means 2 plus 3. How much it becomes? 5. So that what is the group number of this particular element with the general valence electronic configuration? 5. So which is also called as fifth B group. We know that D block elements are transition elements are according to the Mendeleev period they are called as B, and normal or representative elements are called as A. It comes to the fifth B. What are the 50 elements? Vanadium, niobium, etc. comes under this fifth group elements. Here comes our next question. Which of the following is not the electronic configuration of representative elements? Which of the following is not electronic configuration of the representative elements? First of all, you should know what is meant by representative elements. What is a representative element? A representative element is all the elements of S and P block with the exception of 18 are called as representative elements. And all these elements outermost shell are valency shell. Valency shell is incomplete. Hence they are called as representative elements. What is the general valence electronic configuration? NS122, NP125. This is the general. Except 18 remaining all will be called as representative. If you see, this is NS2, this is the second group, it belongs to the S block, right? Here NS25, here also the PR block is incomplete, this is also the electronic configuration of representative elements. Here NS2NP1, this is also representative elements electronic configuration because it comes under the category of NP125. But if you look at this particular electronic configuration, where NS2NP6 is the general valence electronic configuration of group 18th or 0 group, which is called as inert gases. Because of that, this doesn't come under representative electrons valence electronic configuration. Here we have our next question. Transition metals are often paramagnetic owing to transition metal. Most of the transition metals are paramagnetic in nature, and they also exhibit color, and there are some. They are also useful in the catalytic purpose. There are several properties. One of the property of transition metals is that they act as paramagnetic in nature. What is meant by paramagnetic? Paramagnetic means the substances which are weakly attracted towards the magnetic field are called as paramagnetic. Based on the magnetism, substances are classified into 3 types. You know that: paramagnetic, diamagnetic, ferromagnetic. Right? Paramagnetic means which are weakly attracted. Diamagnetic means which are repelled by the external magnetic field. Ferromagnetic means which are strongly attracted. Now, how this paramagnetism or diamagnetism arises? When an atom is having unpaired electrons, presence of unpaired electrons will give the magnetism. If all the electrons are completely paired, then it will become diamagnetic. So let us see the options. Their high bending and boiling point is not a reason. The presence of vacant d orbital, this is also not a reason. What is the reason? Presence of one or more unpaired electrons. Presence of one or more unpaired electrons is actual cause of paramagnetism in transition elements. And this option can be excluded. Let's move the next question. The element having 18 electrons in its outermost shell. This is an important question. Right? See, it's asking which which of the following electron is having 18 electrons in its outer motion. Let us see the valence electronic configuration. Nickel is 3d8. If you are talking about the nickel, it will be 3d8 4s2. What is the valence shell here? Outer motion. Fourth shell is the outer motion. How many electrons are there? Only 2 electrons are there. So according to the question, what he is asking, which of the following is having 18 electrons in the valence shell? So you can exclude the first option, you can remove it. Now let us go to the second option. I said palladium is very important in terms of its electronic configuration. What is the electronic configuration? 4d10 5s 0s. If you want to write the complete electronic configuration of palladium, right, here it will be. Palladium will be 46 atomic number. Its atomic number will be 46 and its electronic configuration will be krypton 4d10 5s 0 is 4d10 and 5s 0, right? Now if you write here, what is the last shell here? Fifth shell. Is there any electron in the fifth shell? 0. So what becomes the valence shell? What is meant by valence shell? The shell in which electrons are present and which is outermost from the nucleus. The outermost shell from the nucleus which is having electron will be called as valence shell, because there will be n number of shells in an atom, and the outermost shell which is having electron will be called as valency. So as there is no electron in the fifth shell, you cannot consider this as valence. What becomes valence here? Fourth orbital. And we know that in the fourth subshell there will be 4s, 4p and 4d, and 4f will be 0 here. It doesn't fill it. So number of electrons here will be 2. This is already filled. 6 and 10. Are you getting this? Right? Here total valence electrons here are 2 plus 6 8 plus 10, it will become 18. This is the element which is having 18 electrons in valence. Right? It is also one of the important exception in terms of electronic configuration also. Right? Now this is your answer. If you want to see copper and zinc also, copper will be 3d10 and 4s1. Number of valence electrons are 1, and it will be 3d10 and 4s2. Number of valence electrons are 2. Right? And this is only element which is having 18 electrons in the valence shell. Hope it is clear. We'll move to the next question. The atomic number of an element X is 34. Then it is present in dash period and dash group of periodic table. The atomic number here is given. In the determination of period number, group number, black number, we made two cases. What was the first case? When electronic configuration is given, in that case, how to solve the group number, period number, we have already discussed. And this comes under the second case. What was the second case? When atomic number is given. When atomic number is given, what you have to do? First of all, you have to see the atomic number. How much is given? 34 is given. Why? If your atomic number falls in between 58 to 71, that comes under lanthanides. If that falls in between 90 to 103, that comes under actinides. And apart from that, if any other atomic number is given, what you have to use? You have to see what is its next nearest Noble element. For that, I told you to remember the table that I gave. Atomic numbers of noble gas elements and their corresponding period number you have to remember. Right? So here, the Z is given as 34. What is the next nearest? What you have to see? Next noble gas element. What is the next noble gas element? The next noble gas element is krypton. That is 36. Atomic number 36, which is nothing but krypton it is. And krypton belongs to fifth period. Krypton belongs to the fifth period. Fifth period or no? One second. Krypton belongs to fourth period. Right? Generally we have helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon, all these. Right? 2, 10, 18, 36, 54, 86, 180. This belongs to first period, this belongs to second period, this belongs to third, it belongs to fourth, it belongs to fifth, it belongs to sixth, and it belongs to seventh period. So the period number of this particular element will be equal to the period number of the next noble gas element, that is xenon. It belongs to the which period it is? Fifth period. And how to determine the group number? Group number should be determined. What is the formula? Z 18 plus Z given minus Z next noble gas. What is Z here? Atomic number. So what is the given atomic number? 34. 34 it is. Right? So here this will comes to be equal to 52 minus 36. How much it comes? It comes to be 16. It belongs to the 16th group. What is that element with 34 atomic number? Selenium is. Selenium belongs to the 16th group, or we can say 68. This is how you have to solve. So it belongs to the 5th group and 68 group. What is the answer here? 5th period and 68 group. This is one of the important concepts that you need to remember to solve the when element atomic number is given and identified and asked you to identify the period and group. Hope it is clear. Here you have to use the formula to find out the group number. What is the formula? 18 plus Z given minus Z next noble gas element. Is it clear? Yeah. We'll move to the next question. Very good. Yeah. Here comes our next question. Which of the following is a typical transition elements? What is meant by typical transition elements? Right? All these elements in the ground state they cannot behave as a transition elements, but in oxidation state they can behave as a transition elements. That is copper, silver, iron, all of them called as typical transition elements. Zinc, cadmium, mercury are called as non-typical transition elements. These three are typical and these three are non-typical transition elements. It's a direct question. The long form of periodic table is nothing but just a graphical representation of dash principle. Right? In the discussion of long form of periodic table, I have insisted on this particular point. In the long form of periodic table is constructed based on the electronic configuration, and these electrons are arranged in the atomic orbitals according to their n plus l values. N plus l values. According to which rule it is? Half-bow rule. Half-bow rule it is. The modern periodic table is nothing but a graphical representation of half-bow rule, as it is being constructed based on the electronic configuration, and while writing the electronic configuration, electrons are arranged according to their n plus l values. So that we can say that the modern periodic table is a graphical representation of half-bow rule. We can exclude the rest of the rules. Ohm's rule, Pauli's exclusion rule, etc. will useful in the filling of electrons in the atomic orbitals. Here is our next question. The sixth period, the orbital being filled out. In the sixth period, the orbital being filled out. Generally, you know that in the sixth period, electrons enters here. Where they enter? Enter here. Sixth orbital. And sixth orbital is associated with various subshells, that is 6s and 4f, 5d and 6p. These are the orbitals that are going to be filled in the sixth period. So if you have an option, then that will be your answer. Right? 5s, 5d, 5d, this is not the correct option. 6s, 6p, 6d, 6s, that is also not the correct option. 6f, 5f, 6d, 6p, this is also not generally we know that just we have discussed electrons are arranged according to their n plus n values, right? Here we have the right option, right? I hope you know how to find out this n plus l values. This is the principal quantum number, this is azimuthal quantum number, right? What is the n plus l value of this one? 6 plus 0 will be, the l value of s orbital is 0, it will be 6, and 4 plus 2, what is this? 4 plus 3 is, generally the l values are, what are the l values? It will be s, t, d, f, 0, 1, 2, 3. So 4 plus 3 will be 7, and here it will be 5 plus 2 will be 7, it will be 6 plus 1 will be 7. If you see, all these three are having same n plus l values, but when atomic orbitals are having same n plus l values, you need to see the orbital with the lowest n value should be filled, followed by the next value. So with this, in the sixth period, these are orbitals that are going to be filled. Hope it is clear. Here comes our next question. The following is the reason for the periodicity in the properties of elements. The following is the reason for the periodicity in the properties of elements. Similarity in atomic mass. Is it the reason? No. Similarity in atomic number? No. In the modern periodic table, elements are arranged according to their atomic, increasing order of their atomic numbers. But similarity in atomic number is not a reason for the periodicity. Similarity in outer electron configuration. This is actual reason for the similarity in the properties or periodicity in the properties. Why? When you are arranging elements in a vertical line which are having similar valency electronic configuration, they will have the similar properties. Why? If they are having similar valency electronic configuration, they are going to participate in similar sort of chemical changes. Because of that reason, this is actually the cause of periodicity in the periodic table. Due to the presence of similar valency electronic configuration, there is a periodicity in the properties of the elements. Right? Here comes our next question. The atomic radius depends upon anionic nature, nature of bonding, cation nature, metallic nature. In the periodic properties, we have discussed that atomic radius cannot be determined exactly. Why? Because of the limitation. What are the limitations? Atom is too small, there is no fixed boundary for the atom, and because of the wave nature of the electron, you cannot determine the exact value of the atomic radius. But we can determine the atomic radius in bonding state. In the bonding state only we can determine the atomic radius. Depending on, there are different types of bond. It can be anion bond, it can be a covalent bond, it can be a covalent bond. So, as there are different types of bondings, there will be different types of atomic radius. The atomic radius of an element depends upon the nature of bond, whether it is forming covalent bond or anion bond. If it is forming covalent bond, its radius will be expressive. Covalent radius. If it is forming anion bond, its radius will be expressive. Ionic radius or we can say ionic radius. If it is a nucleus element, generally we express it is van der Waals radius. It depends upon the nature of bond formed by the elements. So answer will be nature of bond radius. Here comes our next question. When a neutral atom is converted into the anion, its atomic number increases, atomic number decreases, size increases, mass number increases. First of all, let us see how to convert a neutral atom into anion. When a neutral atom gains an electron, it becomes anion. Right? Now, what is happening when a neutral atom converts into anion? Is there any increase in the atomic number? No. For example, if you take chlorine, if you are adding an electron to chlorine, it becomes Cl-. What is the atomic number of chlorine? 70. Here also its atomic number remains same. There will be no change in the atomic number first of all. Right? Atomic number decrease. As I said, there will be no change in the atomic number. But what happens? Size increases. How the size increases? Here 17 electrons and 17 protons are there. 17 electrons are being attracted by 17 protons. But whereas here number of electrons has become 18, the number of protons is same. 17 protons are trying to attract these 18 electrons. What happens? Nuclear force of attraction, Z effect, decreases. If effective nuclear charge decreases, what happens? Size increases. This is the reason for this. When a neutral atom is converted into one ion, what happens? Z effect decreases so that the size increases. So answer will be size increases. There is no change in the mass number also. Here comes our next question. The atomic radius decreases in a period due to, right? What is saying? When you are moving left to right in a period, what happens? Atomic size decreases. This is what is being given in the question. Now let us see what is the reason for it. He is asking the what is the exact reason for the decrease in the atomic size when you are moving from left to right in a period. Increase in the nuclear force of attraction, increase in nuclear attraction, decrease in nuclear attraction, increase in number of electrons, decrease in number of electrons. In the periodic properties, while studying atomic radius, we have discussed this particular point. When you are moving left to right in a period, what happens? Atomic size increases due to what happens? Effective nuclear charge increases. Why effective nuclear charge increases? When you are moving left to right in a period, all the electron centers into the same orbit. Same orbit. If you are talking about second period, the differentiating electron enters into the second shell only. But what happens with increase in the atomic number of protons increases and the nuclear force of attraction on the valence shell increases, so that the valence electrons are tightly pulled towards the nucleus. Because of that, what happens? The size of the atom gradually decreases when you are moving left to right in a period. Right? So what will be the answer? Increase in the nuclear attraction. First option is correct option. Now let's go to the next question. The correct order of variation in the size of atoms is, right? He is asking the correct order of size in different pairs. He has given what are the elements given: beryllium, carbon, fluorine, and neon. First of all, you need to understand whether all the elements belong to the same period or not. If all the elements of same period are given, you will be lucky. You can solve the question in the less effort and less time. So, what are the elements given? Beryllium, carbon, fluorine, neon belongs to the same period, that is second period. Generally, we know that left to right in a period, what happens? Size decreases. Beryllium followed by carbon, fluorine, neon. But important thing to be noted down is that in every period, the size of the noble gas element will be the largest. Why? Because for the noble gas elements, atomic radii will be expressed in van der Waals radii, and we know that the van der Waals radii will be larger than covalent radii as well as metallic radii. So that generally these are the four elements given that from the second period. If you want to write that, general decreasing order will be neon followed by beryllium followed by carbon followed by fluorine. This is a general decreasing order. Now let us see which option matches with this. Beryllium is greater than carbon and this is greater than fluorine, but neon is giving least. This is the wrong option. According to the criteria, neon should be the largest because it is the noble gas element. So you can eliminate this option. And let us see the next option. Beryllium, carbon, fluorine, neon. But what is mismatching here? Is given beryllium is smaller than carbon, fluorine. Actually, beryllium should be larger than the carbon and fluorine. So this is also not a correct option. And if you look at here, beryllium is greater than carbon, which is greater than the fluorine, and neon is also greater than fluorine and all this. Right? Now, this will be your correct option. Why? If you look at the fourth option, fluorine is greater than neon. Actually, the second is largest is the neon. So you can also remove the fourth option. When you are not exactly going to determine the order, if they are exactly not given decreasing or increasing, you can go in the elimination process also. All the three options are not suitable as per our sequence. So the suitable answer will be the third answer. Right? Beryllium, carbon, fluorine, and neon. Right? Hope it is clear. We will move to the next question. Here comes our next question. Which one is the correct order of the size of the iodine species? Which one is the correct order of the size of the iodine species? He has given some species of iodine, that is iodine atom, iodine cation, iodine anion are given. He is asking the correct order. Generally we know that when you are talking about when you relatively speaking the size of an atom, cation and anion, what is the general order? Radius of the cation or size of the cation is smaller than radius of atom and which is smaller than radius of anion. Among neutral atom, cation, anion, what happens? Cation being the smallest, followed by atom, neutral atom, and followed by the anion. So let us see which option suits for our order. Here what is given? Neutral atom, cation, anion. Generally anion should be the largest, so this is the wrong option. Here neutral atom, anion, cation are given. It is also wrong option. Anion should be the largest. If you see here it is completely given opposite. He said that cation is the largest, but cation has to be the smallest. If you look at the fourth option, right, anion followed by neutral iodine atom followed by iodine cation. So this is the largest. This is the correct option according to the ionic radius criteria. Right? Here comes our next question. Among the elements with the following electronic configuration, the one with the largest radius is. Right? Here has given some electronic configuration, from that asking you to identify the electronic configuration with the largest radius. First of all, you need to know which elements of the periodic table are generally having the largest size. When you are moving left to right in a periodic table, generally what happens? Size decreases. That means the elements that are lying extremely right side should be having. Here when you are moving left to right in the period, what happens? Size decreases. The elements which are having extremely left side should expected to have the largest radius. And which elements lies extremely left side of the periodic table? That is alkali metals. What is alkali metals? First group elements are first group elements. So what is the general electronic configuration? Alkali groups means NS1. See, is there any element with the NS1 configuration? No. Followed by what is this? Alkaline earth metals. Alkaline earth metals are the second largest or second group. What is the general valence electron configuration? NS2. In the given options, let us see, is there any NS2 valence electronic configuration? In the first option itself we have the NS2 configuration. Among the elements of the following electronic configuration, the one with the largest radius. Yeah, all of them are given from the third period, so that we can go with the first option. The answer will be neon fused. That is the electronic configuration of what is that? Magnesium.